So basically, we will see this architecture today. So what are the things which get included in this workshop, which is the Jenkins, GitHub, and the Docker Hub, as well as we will create the local repo, okay, of the Git, as well as we will create the EC2 instance on the AWS. And in the EC2 instance, we will make the installation of Docker as well as we will install the Jenkins into the Jenkins setup. So what points we will cover? So these are the some outlines. According to the outlines, we will create the EC2 instance, set up the security group. So let's start with the setting things one by one. Okay. I'm just jumping to the AWS account. So I'm just launching the instance. Just giving name app server. This is the simple name you can give. You can give any name. And the image I'm selecting, which is Ubuntu 24.04 long-term support. And using free tier, which is instance type t3.micro. And creating the key. So this key is used for the SSH authentication. So now key is created and downloaded. And the same one is getting utilized. So now we will simply create this instance. It's launching the instance. So let's see whether the instance is in running and upstate. Okay, so it is initializing. You can see this one instance. I'm just picking the public IP. And this is the terminus used for adding the multiple hosts. You can mention any label. We will connect with the Ubuntu user. That's why I entered that. Adding the host. Now I will add the private. Okay, now simply I am into the instance that we launched recently. We will update the packages. See the security group. We will allow some rules which is required. So as we are using the Jenkins on same server, so we require the port number 8082 to be open. So we will make add that rule into the firewall, which is the what we can say WAN to LAN rule. So we require HTTP because we will have our website on the same server. Custom port we required. Port number is 8080. And from anywhere we will allow it. So these are the port we require. We will say. Okay, now we will do the Jenkins setup. You can see here. Now the 3x3 check is also passed. System is updated. We will make the installation of Jenkins. So this is the official document of Jenkins. You can get it on jenkins.io. So we will make the installation on Linux, and which is the Ubuntu one. So we just updated our packages. For the Jenkins, we required Java installation. I am installing that. Just verifying. Okay, so it is installed. Now we will choose this long-term support, and it is Ubuntu. So we will add the key. Okay. And we will update repo and install the Jenkins. Okay, so you can get it easily on the official documentation. Now Jenkins is up and running. Let's open the UI for that. Jenkins is running on port number 8080. So it is a very scratch installation we need to do. So here you can get the initial password. Okay. They mention the path, and here you can get the initial password. I'm just copying that. Installing the suggested plugin. Then we will create the user, admin user. Just fill these details and create the user. This is the URL through which you can access your Jenkins. And Jenkins is ready to use. So one thing we done with, which is the installation of Jenkins. We done it on a bare metal. So we do not need to set up a separate agent for that. So as you can see what will happen in our case. In the node section, we have one built-in node. So on the same node, our job will get executed. We will install Docker now here because we require this for the hosting our application. Okay, let's verify the Docker installation. Yes, Docker is installed. Now our Jenkins need to execute some Docker commands. Okay, so that's why we need to suppose if now we see, let's see what will happen. Okay. If you run the command docker ps, you will not able to get any information. So what we will do, we will add this user into the Docker. Let's see the same thing again. What we can see now, Jenkins is also able to execute the Docker commands. That's why we added the user into the Docker. Which user? Which is the Jenkins one. So now what we will do, one more thing we require. So we are executing the commands of high privileges. That's why we are making this Jenkins user that he can have the more privileges. And I'm just copying pasting the same what root have, giving the privilege to run all the commands on the system to the Jenkins user. We can just specify the required command only. I'm just making this open for now. So two things on the server side we require. Now this is the Docker hub. So here we will, I will show you to create the repo. So how we can create the repo. So what happened basically, you can see in the diagram. When developer push the code, he will push the code to the GitHub. After that, next all the part which will done by the Jenkins. But Jenkins will push the Docker image into the Docker hub. So that's why we need the repository. So we will create that repo manually. So here in the repo, you can see here the option create new repo. So you can provide the name. Yeah, this is the public repo. Likewise, we can create the repo. So now the repo is visible here. So if you want to push any image to this account, okay, I'm currently logged in with this account, UAT CoreXtech. So if you want to push the image, you need to log in. So first of all, what I will do on the same server, I will log in into the my account. Okay, so once you run this command, you will get the something like this link. Click on that link. So here you can see on the screen there is one code. Okay, this is the one-time code. You need to enter the code. Okay, so this is the method to log in into the Docker account. And here you can see now the login is success. Now, if I want to push the image to that repository, so I can push now. So what I did, I previously have some repos. Okay, so this is the repo. So what we will do, we will push images here. So I just keep open the account, created the repo, login into the Docker Hub. Now we will also do the setup of GitHub. Okay, so in the GitHub, we will create new repo. In the repository section, you can create the new repo. So we will just simply give the name. Okay. I'm just keeping this repo public and creating the repo. So now this repo is created. So I need to make the replica of this onto my server. So for that, what I will do, I will first of all, I have some codes for the project. I will pick that first. I'm just cloning this. These are the some code files we have. So how actually it happened. So first of all, you can see here dockerfile.base. So in this file, we used one image, which is the Nginx file, which is the base image for our image. Means whatever image we will create. So this is the base image. And we used one option, which is on build. What this on build option actually is. This option is like, suppose if you do not have your code right now, or developer will change the code time to time. So what he will do, he will use the new created image, what we will create. So, and he will keep that index.html file into his current repo or current folder. And he will then push. Once he push, then new code will get updated into the image and new image will get created. So we will just create simple image from this Docker file. Docker image build -t, and we will give the image name. So what we will do here, you can see the repo, which is the webhook. In this webhook, if we want to push the image, we need to use this tag. So I am just pasting this here. I am now building the image. I have to use the Docker file, which is the Docker file.base, and which is into the current directory. So it will start building the image. Once the image is created, we are already logging into our Docker Hub account. Now we can push the image. For that, here you can see, if you want to push the image here, you have to use Docker push and whatever the tag name you mentioned. This you want to use Docker push and then image. Okay, so layer already exists. Request denied, access to resources denied, authentication required. So let's see what is happening. Docker login. Login succeeded. Okay, let's check the name. There might be issue in the name. Okay, let's check our latest repo, web app server. We will build the image using this. Image is built. Its image is built. We'll try to push. It is denying the request. What we will do for now, we will use the existing one. In this repo, we already have one image which is pushed 1.0. We will use the same one. Just go into the repos, into the workshop Jenkins. So currently, the image is there on the Docker. What we will do, we will just add the repo into our local one. Just switching to the repo. Okay. So we will rename just branch name, which is the same as your remote repo. And now we will add the remote origin. We will verify now. So we need to generate the key and deploy the key into the repo. After that, we can able to do that. So I'm just picking the public key. We just need to go to the settings, deploy keys, and add deploy keys. So we can give the name like Jenkins server. And we just get deployed. Okay, now we can see the fetch URL and push URL that is required for us to change the code, uh, pushing the code to the remote repo. So what we will do, we existingly have some codes, project codes in this repo. So simply I will copy that. Now we have this code into our new repo. So we will just add this code. If we see the status, yeah, all the files are untried. So we will add into the staging area. Yeah. So why this error is coming? Because I need to add the configuration. Like author, we can say config user.email. So who is going to push into the repo? That information is actually getting added here. And the email we added and username. Let's try to commit now. We can say one commit we done. So we will push this into the remote repo. Right now we can see here in the workshop Jenkins, we are not able to see anything. So we will push the code. Upstream name is origin. And I want to push into the main branch. So code is now pushed into the repo. So if we refresh this, we should see the code. Yes. And we made this commit. So we can see now the code into the remote repo. So we will utilize this course and this Jenkins file. The Jenkins file I will explain once. So this is the entire Jenkins file which automate the entire process. I will explain this one by one. So here, first thing is pipeline. Okay, means if you want to write the like a Groovy pipeline, so this is the syntax. Inside that, you need to define means what agent you want to use for the running your builds. So agent any means currently we have only one agent available, which is built-in node. So that's why it will pick only that agent, a built-in node. And we want to make the changes and deploy everything onto the our machine, which is the Jenkins. Okay. On the same server, we have our app also and Jenkins also. After that, we define some environment variables, okay, which is the Docker Hub user, image name we want, and the credential. So first of all, we need to add this credential into the Jenkins. So how we can perform this? For that, we have to come into the Jenkins. Inside the Jenkins, into the configure section, we have the credential. We want to add the global credential. We want to use the username and password, and the scope is global. So username of our Docker Hub is UAT CoreXtech. Okay. And I'm just putting the password. And whatever we define here, okay, Docker Hub. So same we need to. So this is the safe way of handling the credentials. We need to add into the ID section. So it will understand if we mention this Docker Hub, it will automatically pick the username and password we set here. Okay. So we are creating the credentials. So this trigger field is as of now not required. So after that, we are setting up the stages. So I will show you in the official documentation. In the pipeline section, you can see we want to set up the stages. I can find it. Yes. So this is the syntax. It's be done with this pipeline section, and inside the pipeline we have stages. This stage end here. You start from here and end here. Inside the stages we have multiple stage. Okay. This one section, and inside that we will execute the step. So now in our case, in the stages, first stage is checkout stage. Next stage is build stage. We can mention the multiple stage. Then login and push image to the Docker Hub. And then the deploy one. Okay, so all the procedure is defined into the your pipeline. So what is this checkout step? So with this, you are getting the code into your working space, work day, and this is the GitHub URL you are using. Okay, so we need to change this URL. Okay, CI/CD was the previous one. So currently, what we can see here, workshop Jenkins in the code section. This is our URL. So we will replace that. Okay, from this repo and this branch, we want the code. Then after that, we will build the image. Once your entire repo is get cloned into the your workspace, after that, using the Docker file. So what is this? Here is the Docker file. What this Docker file is telling? From and this image. So what is the meaning of that? This is the image. This is the Docker file. This is the image. So what is the meaning of that? This is the Docker file. What this Docker file is telling? From and this image. So what is the meaning of that? This is the image. This is the Docker file. This is the image. So what is the meaning of that? This is the Docker file. This is the image. So what is the meaning of that? you need to use this image as the base image, and in this image it is defined that if any index.html file is there, it will get updated, okay, when you build the new image. So the new image will get built, okay, from the dot means from the current location, it will get the Docker file. So which is the Docker file? This one. Now again, and the index file. So this is the index file. This is the simple code. So no need to understand this. So it will pick this code index.html, because in the base file, when we created the image, what we define at any time when the code build, it should get updated. Okay. So here we define, we push the image to the Docker Hub, and same image we are utilizing. Okay, that's why in this image, means in this Docker file, using this Docker file, when you create any new image, it will update the index.html file in its current directory. So it will build the image. After that, it will tag the image. Okay. After that, it will log in. Okay, here is the one part, this part. So it is used to handle the credential. We define our credentials, okay, and we give Docker Hub as the credential ID. The same credential ID is defined as a variable and which get utilized here. Okay, and the variable name. Okay, when you generate this snippet, you will get the what we can say, you will get the option where you can define this Docker user and Docker password. So we will see that also. Suppose here we will create new item. In the new item, we will create the pipeline. A new job, I am taking the name. A pipeline job we are creating. And in the pipeline section, there is the pipeline syntax. Means we can generate the snippet, declarative pipelines from the here. So if we want agent like previously we defined, so snippet get generated. Suppose I want to use any particular label of the agent, so we can define that. So it will generate the that syntax and pipeline. Pipeline snippet. So now in the same area, its credential. So you can see here with credential. So in the with credential, you can define. Okay, this is the basic one. So we can add like username, password. Okay, previously we defined this. That's why it pick up that one. Okay, so this is how we can generate the snippet. So after that, we will utilize the credential using the with credential. After that, here we can log into the our Docker Hub, then push the image. And after that, in this step, what we will do, whatever image we pushed, the same image we will use. Okay. So first of all, in this step, we will make sure that any previous container should not be there. So we will remove existing container and we will run the new container, okay, with the latest updated image. that is entire pipeline is you can see here. So let's make some changes into Jenkins file. So rest of the things I am keeping same, just changing the name of that branch. So now I just modified this, so I should push this to the remote repo. So it is get modified. So you can see the marker. So I need to commit the changes. Jenkins file. Modified. I just push the new changes that is required for our current project. So if I refresh this, so commit is two commits are there. Jenkins file modified. So we can see here previously this was the repo mentioned. So minus sign means here you can see minus sign means this get removed and plus sign means the new repo URL is getting added. You can see here workshop.jenkins is get changed. Now we have to utilize this Jenkins file into the our pipeline. So for that, just go to the new job. Inside this job, it is taking time. There is some issue on the instance end. Instance is I think at hand.